Madam Chair, I have another amendment to the rule. I move the committee make an order amendment number 50 to H.R. 3633, offered by Representative Khanna, which would require the Attorney General to preserve and release any records related to Jeffrey Epstein. Madam Chair, on February 21st, 2025, President Trump's own Attorney General, Pam Bondi, said on Fox News, the Epstein client list was sitting on her desk, quote, right now to review, end quote. Kash Patel, Trump's FBI director, said during his confirmation hearing that he would do everything, if confirmed, to make sure the American people knew, quote, the full weight of what happened, end quote. Patel, who now leads the FBI, said on the Benny Johnson show that the FBI was hiding the Epstein client list. Donald Trump Jr., the president's own son, tweeted out, and I quote, show us all the Epstein client list right now. Why would anyone protect those scumbags? Ask yourselves this question, and then the answer becomes very apparent, end quote. And now, forgive me, but suddenly these same people are telling us there's nothing to see here. Trump is posting that we should all just move on. Well, I want to know what the hell is in these files. And I think we all want to know why Trump is suddenly changing his tune and is so desperate to sweep this under the rug. But you know what? This also gets at his credibility. This is about trust. Republicans said, trust us, vote for us, and we will release these files. And here we are. They are backtracking. They said they aren't going to cut Medicaid, and they did. They said they wouldn't add to the deficit and debt. They exploded both. They said that they stand with law enforcement. They won't even hang a plaque honoring officers for their heroism on January 6th. They talk about law and order and can't even condemn the president for pardoning the people who violently attacked the Capitol building. So please forgive me if I don't believe a word of any of it. This isn't about gotcha politics. It's about credibility, or rather the lack of credibility on the other side, because they constantly say one thing and do something else. So I urge a yes vote on my amendment, and I yield back.
Is there any further discussion on
Madam Chair, I fail to see how that amendment is germane to this rule.
And Madam Chair, we are the Rules Committee, and we routinely waive the rules of germaneness and make things in order.
This is about defense appropriations and crypto legislation.
Well, then you could vote on it.
Mr. Scott, unfortunately, it is germane. Is there any further discussion on the amendment?
Madam Chair.
Ms. Leisure-Fernandez, you recognize.
Madam Chair, the Epstein files concern issues of abuse of women and abuse of children. You know, as the chair of the Democratic Women's Caucus, you often see me raising issues of we need to address this. And not only that, but Republicans and the MAGA world have said they want to know about this. Your constituents want to know. So the question is, why are they not just releasing them? And I think it's a simple thing to do, and you're going to be asked to vote whether you require the release. That's going to be a simple vote. Will you require the release? Is there anything that needs to be hidden? If there isn't, then just release the files. Silence those who would question it. So every Republican on this committee should be able to easily vote yes. And with that, Madam Chair, I yield back.
Thank you, Ms. Leisure-Fernandez. Any further discussion? Hearing none, the question's on the amendment. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. No. In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it. The amendment's not
Madam
agreed
Chair, I'm
to.
kind of shocked by that. I will ask for a roll call.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mrs. Fishbach? No. Mrs. Fishbach, no. Mr. Norman? Yes. Mr. Norman, aye. Mr. Roy? Mrs. Houchin? Mrs. Houchin, no. Mr. Langworthy? Mr. Langworthy, no. Mr. Scott? Mr. Scott, no. Mr. Griffith? Mr. Griffith, no. Mr. Jack?
No.
Mr. Jack, no. Mr. McGovern?
Aye.
Mr. McGovern, aye. Ms. Scanlon? Yes. Ms. Scanlon, aye. Mr. Neguse?
Yes.
Mr. Neguse, aye. Ms. Leisure-Fernandez? Aye. Ms. Leisure-Fernandez, aye. Madam Chair?
No.
Madam Chair, no.
The clerk will report the total.
5 yeas, 7 nays.
The noes have it. The amendment is not agreed to. And I think most of us believe what's appropriate will be released when it is time for the president to release it.
Well, Madam,
Thank you.
Well, Madam Chair, I have another amendment. We'll try one more time at this. I don't have the same confidence you do, given the flip-flopping we've seen. I need a neck brace. I mean, they flip-flop so quickly and so rapidly. But I have another amendment to the rule. I move to add a new section to the rule which would provide for consideration of a resolution introduced by Representative Vesey, H-Res 577, which affirms Congress's Article 1 authority to conduct oversight, demands that the Trump administration release the Epstein files, calls on the Department of Justice and FBI to submit a report on any delays, suppression, or destruction of evidence related to the files, and supports full transparency and access to these documents in the interest of justice and accountability. This resolution shall be considered under a closed rule with 1 hour of debate equally divided and controlled by the Committee of the Judiciary. This is essentially a sense of Congress resolution. So if you believe that the administration should release what it has available, I think this should be an easy yes vote for everybody. And I yield back my time.
Madam
Is there
Chair.
further discussion? Mr. Norman?
You know, I debated on this, and I agree with Austin. This isn't germane. I was surprised that you ruled that it was. This isn't this isn't the body to do this, and it'll be borne out by the legal authorities and by the public. Now, I'm voting against your resolution because you know it'll be fine. Whatever this comes out as time goes, we haven't heard all the information.
Well, this is definitely
period.
germane, by the way.
Well, I don't think it is. No, we're talking about crypto, Jim. We're talking about crypto. We're talking about regulations of. So, I yield back.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Griffith?
if I might. Madam Chair, I understand under the very loose rules of germaneness that this House has, that this technically is germane.
Thank you.
But I have championed since coming to Congress that we have stricter germaneness rules, and this is a classic example. This is not in anybody's, I understand in our rules it is germane, so I'm not disagreeing with you or with the ranking member on the way it's been done. But I have advocated that we tighten up the germaneness rules because everything in the kitchen sink can be added in, and it's my understanding the reason this is germane is because in one of the bills that we took up tonight, there's a reference to the Department of Justice. And that's sufficient to bring this in. The American people understand that that doesn't make this the proper venue, and this doesn't make this the proper time to do it. And that's why I voted no on the last one, and that's why I'll vote no on this one, because notwithstanding the fact that it may technically, because it touches one subject area, that touches one subject area, that touches one subject area. I mean, under this, everything under the sun is germane to this rule. I think that's an improper way to run this place. I have felt that way for the entire time I have been here, and I would be remiss and not continuing my campaign that we should tighten up the language if I didn't vote no on the gentleman's. It's nothing personal. It's just I feel strongly on germaneness that we've got it wrong, and we've had it wrong probably for at least 50 years, and we need to tighten it up. And so I'm voting no because whether it's technically germane or not is not the test I'm looking at. Would it meet Morgan Griffith's test of germaneness? Would it meet the Virginia House of Delegates test of germaneness? Absolutely not. It would not. And would it meet the test of germaneness in most legislative bodies in this nation, in our state legislatures and other legislatures? It would not meet the test of germaneness. Only here in the United States House does it meet the test of germaneness. And I think that's ridiculous. And I apologize. I got carried away, but I'm voting no.
Madam Chair?
Thank you, Mr. Griffith. Mr. McGovern, you're recognized.
First of all, let me respond to the gentleman. The previous measure we voted on was germane to one of the bills. This one is germane to the rule. And that you're offended that a rule contains many different topics, we have a defense appropriations bill, and we have crypto legislation. Talk about differences of topics all in one rule. So this is totally germane to the rule. And I get it. You guys are twisting yourself into knots trying to find a way to avoid, dealing with this issue. And this is the kind of the lightest touch in terms of addressing the Epstein files. Basically, a sense of Congress resolution saying to the administration, explain yourself, and release what you have. That's what this is. So this is germane to the rule, absolutely. And I would urge a yes vote on this.
Is there further discussion?
Go
Ms.
ahead.
Ms. Scanlon, do you
Thank
recognize?
you. I do appreciate the ranking member pulling us back to the topic under discussion, which is whether or not, after years of saying there's stuff in the Epstein files, whether or not the Trump administration now should disclose the Epstein files, because either there's stuff in there they're covering up, or they were lying to the American public beforehand when they said there was stuff there. So I urge a yes vote on this amendment.
Thank you, Ms. Scanlon. Any further discussion?
Madam,
Any further discussion on our side? Ms. Leisure-Fernandez or Mr. Neguse?
So, Madam Chair, I'll be really quickly. I think that we have Republican staff have said this is germane. So regardless of how you feel about it, it is clear you have the power. This committee has the power to decide whether to request, demand, suggest that the Trump administration, the Department of Justice, release the files. So the question that you will be voting on, with the power that has been granted to you, is should they release the files? That is the vote you will be making as to whether it should go forward to the floor for that vote. So you, with your vote, will be preventing even the consideration of the release of the Epstein files. You will be voting against the release of the Epstein files. You have the power. Let's see how you vote.
Ms. Leisure-Fernandez, again, none of us like to be told why we are voting a certain way.
My apologies. I just said let me say
We do not like to be told why we are voting a certain way. You do not know our minds. You do not know our hearts. Is there further discussion on the amendment?
Madam Chair.
Mr. Neguse?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to echo the sentiments of the ranking member. I certainly support this amendment, as I supported the last amendment. I would say, just to be clear, that last vote, 4 Democrats, joined by 1 Republican, Mr. Norman, ultimately voted in favor of an amendment that would ensure the release of these files. And I think this vote provides another opportunity for our colleagues on the other side of the aisle, again, just before we cast this vote, to perhaps join Mr. Norman in voting in favor of releasing the files. And so with that, I'll be voting yes, and I hope my colleagues will do the same.
All those in favor of the motion by Mr. McGovern signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. No. In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it. The amendment is not agreed
Ask for a
to.
roll call, Madam Chair.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mrs. Fishbach? No. Mrs. Fishbach, no. Mr. Norman? No. Mr. Norman, no. Mr. Roy? Mrs. Houchin? Mrs. Houchin, no. Mr. Langworthy? No. Mr. Langworthy, no. Mr. Scott? Mr. Scott, no. Mr. Griffith? No. Mr. Griffith, no. Mr. Jack?
No.
Mr. Jack, no. Mr. McGovern?
Aye.
Mr. McGovern, aye. Ms. Scanlon?
Aye.
Ms. Scanlon, aye. Mr. Neguse? Aye. Mr. Neguse, aye. Ms. Leisure-Fernandez? Aye. Ms. Leisure-Fernandez, aye. Madam Chair?
No.
Madam Chair, no.
The clerk will report the total.
4 yeas, 8 nays.
The noes have it. The amendment is not agreed to.